Good morning,
Tibor.
Brendan. Good.
Jojo.
And Jamie. Yay.
Ross.
Kristen. Jacinta.
And
Oh, okay.
I'll just start it by saying hi everyone and inviting someone to do the spiel if anyone is moved. Tanya is my preference, of course. No, you wanna? Can you give us like 10 minutes, half an hour, 10 minutes? Let's see. Come on. Somebody. Okay, so we had Jamie last week. Anyone? Cliff, would you enjoy it?
Oh, no,
Joe, would you enjoy it?
Thank you. God bless you.
God bless you. How about?
I think the
birthday girl is on the spot, actually.
I think the birthday girl's.
Birthday girl. Birthday spiel.
There's no such thing. And it's not today anyway.
This is true.
Yeah, okay, so last year actually, at about that time of a year, I had one wish for my birthday, that Bob be there. And he was. And he's still there because he says he'll never go anywhere. There's nowhere to go. Even if the car wears off and goes scrapped, the energy that animates, that moves it never goes anywhere. It just stays here. It's always here. All the experience that ever happens to everyone is happening here. Anytime you check, it's here. So, and what is here? Is here a location? Is here somewhere in the head or in the heart or behind your eyes? Have a look. Is there anyone there behind your eyes? Can you even sense any presence? Can you sense anyone that is doing the looking or doing the being or doing the heartbeat or doing anything at all? Or is just that spontaneous natural happening here, the being here and the now, this moment now, the timeless, the eternal. So it is really the whole non-duality is about experiential verification of that basic truth which can't be spoken. But when it is hinted at or pointed at or expressed in words, it is expressed as different words. Bob's, one of his favorite expressions was intelligence energy, pointing out that everything is the energy. And there is intelligence in the way that energy shapes patterns and forms into every single expression, perception, sensation, and object. So it isn't what we point out. It isn't intelligence energy. Intelligence energy is just a word. It's just a concept. It's a label. But that label is pointing to what's behind it. And no label can accurately describe it because every label is objectifying something that is beyond objectification. So when I say energy or intelligence or life essence or cognizing emptiness, this beautiful machinery which is interpreting everything is always coming up, or at least trying to come up with some vague mental representation, maybe an image or maybe a sense or maybe a feeling. And these mental representations are arising here in consciousness that is beyond objectification and now beyond any location or any location whatsoever. So using words to point is really just to invite the resonation, invite the like humming long forgotten tune that everyone was familiar with and still is familiar with, because we were born to that natural state of just undistracted presence. When the when the fetus comes into a shape of a baby and the brain is formed and all the organs are formed, there is just the sense of existence and there is no destruction. Then as that machinery, that biocomputer develops, there is a sense of perhaps sounds. At least our most popular nowadays religion called science says so. So we can agree upon using that religion for sake of pointing. So the sounds are being processed and identified, and then sensations, bodily sensations, identified and processed. And as the little child gets out of the womb, they are slowly visual perceptions identified and processed and later on labeled. And as that biocomputer gets more and more sophisticated and better programmed, those mental representations and those concepts veil the reality of that pure existence, pure being. They don't completely veil it, because as you look at that beautiful cat Tibor is playing with, she's also perceiving objects. She's also, oh, there is heat as well, interpreting sensations. They will hide from the rain. They will respond to the hunger or to a full bladder. There is the body-mind machine is working in the optimal way. But there is one faculty that human creature developed and animals did not, and that's the language, the symbolic language, which Bob was pointing to. At the moment the baby starts learning words, it is eating the fruit from the tree of knowing good and evil, the fruit of the forbidden tree, the fruit of knowledge. Now, this is a mystery for the child. Is wow. And after a while, the mystery is gone. It's just a glass. It's just the water. It's nothing. I know what it is. I'm not interested in it now. It's nothing wow about that. That's how the mystery of existence is replaced for the thought. Unborn Buddha mind replaced for the concepts, for the story about it. So now, as the child is going more into that interpretation of the mind and creating mental representation of the world in the head to be able to relate to others, the less and less of spontaneous wow happens in the system. Less and less of discovery, more of the really quick forced conditioning and learning. And there's nothing wrong about that. This show is absolutely perfect. There's no complaint about any of that. Because the faculty that human pattern has is the relating to each other, using the language, exchanging the stories, joining in a larger groups and communities as family, as children, as adults, as many different concepts that allow people to actually see the reflection of, that allows life to see the reflection of itself in others through joining. But it is a double-edged sword. As beautiful and as helpful it is, and as enjoyable as it is, it also creates the sense of separate identity. It creates the illusion of me being someone inside. And that me is often quite early identified as the body-mind. So I am this vehicle that the consciousness is using to experience and express itself. I am this body. And we even celebrate birthdays to show that this particular vehicle, this particular body is now special. It is its turn to be celebrated. And again, nothing wrong with that either. This universe is brilliant and nothing is out of place. Because if not for the body, that pure essence, that pure existence, that pure life energy wouldn't be able to experience and express itself in the way it does. Through seeing, hearing, tasting, touching, smelling. And it is a delightful experiencing if there is no psychological suffering in it. And psychological suffering coming from assuming identity as the vehicle. I am my car now. I am my dress. And now my job is to make my car the best I can. I can't get younger. Shit. And my dress should be the newest model. And but I don't have health, I don't have money, I don't have this. And now the misery that comes with it. Comparison, judgment, self-pity, guilt, remorse. Not only I am wrong, I look wrong, I think wrong, I should have, I shouldn't have. All the pain coming up from the idea of being something that can't be proven. Because when I look, can I sense a person within that vehicle that it is being operated? Would I be less me if I lost 10 kilos or gained 20 kilos? Would I be more me? How could I be the body? What does it have to do with anything? If I put binoculars, my eyesight will change. Do I change with it? If I take the microscope, again, will I change? Is the expression or the shape or the size or the faculties or even values or even the ideas held by the body, are they really changing the essence of existence that is expressing through it? Like you have the wind blowing through the tree and moving the branches, moving the leaves, the same wind blowing through the flute, creating a sound, or moving the chimes, creating yet another sound, moving over the ocean, creating waves. Is the wind anywhere different when its expression is a water or it's a leaves or it's a sound? The energy in itself, is it any different when it flows through the globe and it becomes a light, when it floats through the hairdryer and becomes hot air or vacuum or heat? The energy, the intelligence energy is untouched, is unchanged by its expression. And we have a nice chimes. Yes, so we're pointing back using different descriptions to that energy that is behind the costume, that is behind the way of expressing. And if you really, really put aside all the thinking and everything that you've ever learned, you were told by the religion called science, or religion called the story of my ancestry, or whatever the belief system is, and just rest in the heart of being and see if there is anything else that you could say about yourself rather than the delight of existence, just joy of being, the sense of being. You can see how the concepts that are flocking through the mind to express that essence will always be limited and will always be different, will always be untrustworthy. You can see how you can consider yourself a good little girl when you are small, or the successful husband before your marriage fails, or entrepreneur, or a doer, or whatever is the storyline at the moment. But that storyline is not permanent, it's not always there. You weren't born with it. It is something that comes and goes. The idea, what am I, or who am I, is something that is being learned, and is something that comes and goes. You may be all right in the morning, you may be anxious in the afternoon. Are you the anxiety? Are you the feeling of all right? Any feeling, any story, any description comes and goes in that consciousness, that presence that is always here, always same, never changing. So in that consciousness, everything that is being experienced is a phenomena, is passing through it. And again, when you look, yes, but I am the one that witnessed it. Well, really, where are you? Oh, I'm here. And where is here? Is the here of a size of a football, or is the here of a size of a universe? Can you even say? How could you possibly evaluate your own size? You will have to leave yourself, and then you're evaluating something else, an object in consciousness. So to evaluate what is, how is that presence is completely beyond, is completely impossible. It can't happen. It won't be accurate. So to know what you are is impossible and is unnecessary. But that you are is completely undeniable. You can't deny it. You can deny it, but you have to be there to deny it. The sense of existence, the sense of presence, the sense of witnessing, knowing, existing, being, that is right here, right now. The shape put on it is imagined. The story put on it is learned, is added. But directly experiencing the presence of existence, that's not imagined. You can see that the same existence, the same presence of consciousness is there when you dream at night. You see the content of the dream is changing. You may be in a different place. You may be engaging with some other people. You may have different body, obviously, because the body is lying flat on the bed with the eyes closed, and the body in the dream is yapping, moving, fighting, flying, whatever it is doing. But all of that, this room right now, and the room that you might have visited in the imagination or in your sleep, is happening in the consciousness that you are. It's like consciousness is like a mirror, reflecting whatever shows up in it. But it isn't reflecting itself. But take the mirror away, take the consciousness away, there is no reflection. And there is nothing. So realizing that pure potentiality, the conscious awareness, the knowing that you are, that is always here, regardless whether you are fantasizing about what you're going to do tomorrow, or whether you are revisiting, reliving some memories of childhood or trauma or whatever has happened or somebody did to you or shouldn't have, or you are remembering a dream from last night, or you are just experiencing this current moment, or you can see all of that is happening in that consciousness, in that presence, because of that presence that is prior to any content, presence that in the Bible was called before the Abraham was, I am. The I am is prior to the world, prior to God, prior to Abraham, prior to Jesus, because all those objects can only appear in the presence. If there is no presence of consciousness, no Jesus, no Abraham, no world, no gods, no people, no rooms, nothing. And even the nothing, the idea of nothing, is only possible because the idea of the multitude. That's how the whole dream works. Everything that exists has its opposite, the absence of it. The glass exists because there is a possibility of the absence of glass. And that's the appearance. So, in fact, I go to sleep, and that room, and all those people, and the glass, everything disappears. Was it ever real? Just like a dream. Was yesterday ever real? Was the childhood with all its traumas ever real? Where is it now? It's a thought. It's a fleeting idea, mental image, floating through the consciousness, only when remembered, only when attended to. So that attention is the life-giving force which creates that incredible kaleidoscope of dreams, a maze of dreams coming one after another. We could literally think into existence another planet right now. Moon, where is it? Oh yeah, it has objective existence out there. Really? Where is yesterday if you don't think about it? Where is the past if you don't think about it? Where is your loved one or your pet if you don't think about it? Without the thought, because the mind will come, oh yeah, let's think about it. Oh yeah, it will be there on this address or this location. Well, that's thinking. Thinking, which is an incredible dreaming capacity. Every thought is another dream. is another universe appearing in that incredible capacity for experiencing and expressing us everything. Every thought brings up a flavor of another universe, of another lifetime. People like to talk about, and I heard it in many, many different versions, a story of someone taking a substance and disappearing from in their consciousness, like in a dream, for 3 months or for 5 years or whatever. I heard it in few versions. And I've experienced many dreams at night, which lasted much longer than the biological time of a body. I might have dreamt for 20 seconds and it had like weeks in it. So those dreams, this capacity for dreaming and for experiencing and expressing is absolutely marvelous when you are the presence and not the trapped dream character who is locked in the dream, like I believed for most of my life, a decade, more or less, that I was a person somewhere locked up in the dream, trying to get out, and that the dream was the story of my life. What an incredible conundrum. How can that person, completely imagined, made up of thoughts and memories, how can that insentient mental projection liberate itself from the projected dreamt world? How can the character in the comic book get out of the comic book and read it? It's absolutely impossible and is completely unnecessary, because you are not that character you never were. The story of your life is just a beautiful, beautiful way life, intelligence, cognizing emptiness, God, or whatever you want to call it, experiences and expresses itself through the capacity of projecting the stories. Yes. And seeing that capacity and marveling at it is what the dream can offer. The dream will continue. Like a year ago, Bob was about to have last few days upstairs in a bedroom and then go down and never go back again, because that was the last few months of his life. The dream was continuing, and the dream was absolutely stunning. The dream which he could never fully believe himself into being a character, and yet the body would still behave the way it was conditioned to behave. He was still a husband, he was still a mentor, he was still a friend, he was still a pesto lover. His cat is really desperate for attention. So realizing that you are not the dreamer doesn't end the dream, doesn't finish the dreaming. The dreaming continues. But seen for what it is now the most enjoyable, most beautiful unfolding. Every moment, if there is no pressure of the poor me trying to do my best, the poor me always getting something wrong, needing to get better, needing to improve myself, to be more kind or more loving or more wealthy or looking younger, whatever the story is. If there is no illusion of any doership or any power or any volition being mine, then the body will still do what it does, just like the body of the cat. When it's hungry, it will eat. The body of a human, the body of a storyteller will still tell its stories, will still watch. Bob loved up until his last days to watch some Netflix documentaries, or even a little crime stories. I think, Bren, you had one of the last one-on-ones that he ever had, and you were just watching Monk on Netflix. He couldn't speak anymore. He couldn't really do any pointing. His body was saturated with anti-cancer medication, painkillers, but he was still present, and he was still delighted in the way the dream unfolded. Every day he would, or every other day when the nurses would come, he would have a cheeky smile and ask, "Oh, did they get the cure for cancer yet?" They said, He said, "Well, whatever, will get me then." And that lightness of being, is the possibility, even though his personality never faded. His beautiful personality was there up until the last day. Sometimes it happens differently. People who have issues with dementia or other things, they have personality change. And the life essence that is animating and is beating the heart and is changing that personality, that one is just like that electricity going through the globe as a light and going through the toaster as a heat, is still untouched. And realizing that that presence, that cognizing emptiness, that Satchitananda, being, knowing, and awareness of the being and knowing, is your essential nature rather than the story that is showing up on top of it, ever-changing, constantly fluctuating, expression, reflection in the mirror. You are that essential presence, that Satchit Ananda. And if you don't think about it, right now, you can say nothing about what you are, where you are, how big, how small, how good, or how bad, without the thought. Nothing you can say about yourself. But you can't disappear. You're still here. And what is wrong? Nothing. It's only the thought that creates the drama. And seeing how that drama comes into existence, seeing how that thought introduces a universe of its own, a universe of scarcity, or universe of superiority. Completely new dream, every thought a new dream. Then the entertainment gets only better and better. And there is absolutely no need for that process and that program of thoughts generating dreams within the dreams to end. Quite the contrary. Let them go on. Bob would sometimes say, yeah, there are long periods of just silence here. And sometimes I just have to kickstart the mind so it keeps going. Because it's a great entertainment. And of course, the I who has to kickstart it is just another program. There is no I per se. It's just a set of conditioned behaviors. And discovery of those conditioned behaviors is a lifelong adventure. Like Bob wouldn't know, Nisargadatta wouldn't know, no one would know. Like Tibor just played with the cat. What is the cat gonna do next? The cat doesn't know. How is Tibor gonna respond to it? Let's find out. What's my next thought gonna be? I'll wait and see. What's my next reaction or response gonna be? I have no idea. The lifetime of discovery, the best time in show. See what I'm gonna think, what I'm gonna do, how I'm gonna be in relation to this, in relation to that. Discovery, every moment fresh and new, never been the same again. Only now can be really fully experienced, including the sounds, the sights, the thoughts, including the dreams that are lurking, just look there in the past, future, every little expression of that one life essence, seducing the attention. Come on, look at me. Illusion of control. Wow, what a brilliant dream. Illusion of being in power, illusion or dream of being a better person. Wow. Relationships between people and things, between people and people, people and weather. Wow. And every moment never to be relieved, even through memory, always fresh, always here. Even when it is fantasizing about Copacabana Beach in Brazil, it is happening here, right now. I think that's about it. Tanya?
Well, that was exquisite. There's absolute silence in here. It's just so quiet. Just flows. Yeah, what you said just towards the end there about letting go of the concern, the worry that if I don't continue to make effort to make things happen, things will go wrong. If I'm not in control, it's, as Kat said, it's always been an illusion. You've never been anyone there to be the controller. It's, came up the other day in the Zoom, and one of the attendees was concerned that, they were resisting becoming realized because of the fear that their life would change. If I'm not running the show, if I give up the idea that I'm running the show, well, everything will go to pot. And I'll be a failure, and it's uncertain. Who knows what will happen? Well, there's no one to realize. There's no one to become enlightened. There never was. What is there to be concerned about? Yeah, you've never been the doer. You will never be the doer. You can't even find yourself as the mini-me, that no point of reference, no boundary. What's the block? What's the blockage? It's just a belief. It's energy of attention going into a vibration in space. We call a thought. Hey, need. So let go. Let go. If you can. Who can let go? Who are we talking to? It's just part of the dream. All of it. Hi, you. Good to see you. Anyone? Up the back? Lockie?
Anita?
Jamie? Dean? Ross? Tibor? Jacinta?
Oh.
There's one there.
Yeah, thanks, Kat and Tanya. That was interesting about who's running the show, because often I speak to people about, giving up the idea that they're running the show and controlling life, and many people are afraid of it, and I sort of thought about it too. Like, if I'm not doing, who's going to run things? The whole thing will fall apart if I'm not steering it, and it's just so crazy. And I remember in early days talking with Bob and saying, but if I live like you're saying, I'll be irresponsible. And he'd say, well, are you irresponsible? And I went, no. And he said, well, have you ever been irresponsible? And I thought, well, some people would say so, but he'd say, well, do you think so? And I said, no. So the responsibility's always been there, hasn't it? And I go, well, I suppose so, yeah.
I'm the opposite. I was irresponsible for and still
Take the mic.
Yeah, well, there you go. You can have a go then. You're responsible.
It's not going to be as funny when I say it again. No, it could work either way. I was irresponsible in the past and still irresponsible, but it's not me being irresponsible. And what is responsibility anyway? Who's responsible for what? Yes, just
the ability to respond.
Yeah.
Responsibility. And
Yeah, that's actually good.
the other thing about not, Bob said, I'm not going anywhere. Where is there to go? And I think of something when you were talking about that. I thought about something in the Nisargadatta. He says, "I am not in the world is in me." And yeah, so where is there to go in that case? Anyway, have a go, Gina.
Is she?
Jojo?
Anybody? Jojo? Oh, okay, maybe then. I used to love it when Bob would say to me, just sit down, Joe, and do nothing. because I've got to run around, I've got to do everything. He'd say, sit and do nothing. And I do that today. So I just sit on the couch and do nothing. And then suddenly I'm up doing the vacuuming, cleaning, going shopping, making phone calls. And I did not plan to do any of that. It's not what I wanted to do. It's so easy to sit and think that you're going to do nothing, because it'll happen naturally. It's beautiful, beautiful, spontaneous. Thank you.
I have a little comment from the community. Enjoying the wonderful spiel cut, says Giotti, thank you. And there is a greetings from USA. And I'm noticing more how there is no doer. Sometimes when I think I know what I will do or say next, I end up saying or doing something completely different. These talks have brought so much peace. And this is a really great point. Yeah, sometimes I think Cliff was sharing it a couple of weeks ago that, planning a day or expecting all sorts of different outcomes or disasters, and none of them really. Yeah. And another thing I remember that also came up on Zoom, the anxiety. Oh yeah, I have to hold back realizing the self because I still have young children. Who is going to take care of them? And it is the I who really wants to hold back. What is it? Yeah, fine. Yeah, good on you. Yeah, go. Yeah, put all you want into that holding back, but find out who is there to hold back. So worried about the children. Look at the wildlife. Look at the animals in the wilderness, looking after their children because they're conditioned to do so. And then the idea again coming up that, I will realize and then I will disappear and everything will fall apart. I will relinquish the control, and who is going to run the show? I never had any control. The relinquishing is of the illusion of control. And it isn't even relinquishing the illusion of control, it is relinquishing or recognizing a bullshit behind the illusion of I. If there is no I, the control-ing happens naturally when it's required. Control-ing and responsibility, it happens that my cat has ability to respond. Every organism is already conditioned to respond in particular way. In between, feed the body or clean the body or feed the children or not feed the children, because that happens too. Whether there is an illusion of self or there is no illusion of self. So that's how beautifully simple it is. Just the recognition that whatever is happening, whatever is the dream character doing, thinking, believing, is all preconditioned, is all happening on autopilot. There is no one doing a thing. The only conscious element is the presence of conscious awareness, of existence. Everything else is completely on autopilot, is pre-programmed. The tone of the voice, the accents, the choice of words, the preference of music, of food, all of it, the preference for friendships or relationships, all of it is already preconditioned, and the machine is constantly updating and upgrading, constantly learning, responding to the best of its ability. Every single body-mind expression, every single pattern and shape and form is designed in a way to serve us, the experiencing and expressing, the life essence experiencing and expressing. For that purpose, there is a loving to be installed, which translates to self-preservation. It loves to be, it doesn't want to die. And that includes the story, that includes the thought, that includes the wind. All of it is existing in its fleeting form and is bound to disappear because it's just a maya, a phenomenon, just like a dream. But during its own existence, it has that pattern of loving to be preserving. So that is actually what could be called like primordial cause. Any action that the body is taking is really designed to preserve itself, to follow the pleasure and avoid the pain, to look after itself, look after its friendships, to be altruistic, loving and kind, because it's self-preservation, it's pleasure. It's going to be rewarding. It's so much more pleasant. Who does not resonate with that? To be in love than to be in hatred or in fear or in misery. It's loving anything, loving the peace, loving the blue sky. There's no such thing as blue sky. All of those concepts, all of those ideas are just another set of reminders. Being at ease, being at peace. And when there is a peace, and that was one of Bob's often brought quotes, the peace is when the mind is not. When the self-preservation, when that inflamed survival instinct saying, this is wrong, that is wrong, this has to be fixed, there is a danger here, there is a discrepancy here, there is a lack of integrity there, everything is wrong. That is just a narration of the self-preservation system. But when the mind is not, there is the peace that passeth all understanding. And even if the mind is on the surface, showing up like a ripple on the water, the peace is never obscured, just like the space is never contaminated by anything that appears in the space. The space is untouched, like the silence is untouched, no matter how much noise shows up in it. The silence, which is the absence of noise, you can't say that there is a silence or there is a space. There is and there isn't. The moment we conceptualize it, it becomes a thing, but is it really? Bob would point out that space is the very first thing you see, but do you see it? No. That essential, beyond understanding, that peace of heart, where the mind is not, is always there. Even when the self-preservation system is throwing up anxiety, panic attacks, and hysteria, it is still there. There's still nothing wrong. And recognizing that is never far away, it's always here. And realizing that nothing can be done and nothing has to be done because there is no one to do any of it. And just, okay, wait and see. That is the only understanding that can ever be imparted to the mind, is that the answer can't be found there. It can't be worked out. It can't be learned. It can't be understood. It can't be grasped. Because there is nothing to grasp and there is no one to grasp it. The character, the illusion, the hallucinated sense of separate self existing as a part of the program in the mind not only has no capacity to understand the totality which created the whole illusion, but there is no necessity for it. There's no one there. It's just the software, like the software that you have in your iPhone called Siri. You give Siri an instruction, add the eggs to the shopping list. Yes, I added the eggs to the shopping list. What I added? There is no I there. There's no one there. It's a software. And this is the same here. The I, but I'm anxious, but I want to have more money, or I want to look better, or whatever, or I want people to love me or like me, or whatever it is. That I is like that Siri, or it's like that ChatGPT, or whatever else. It's hallucinated. It's only a construct of language. Yes, but there is a feeling, there is a sense of contraction, there is a sense of being contracted, not free, being somehow separate. Yes, so that sense, let's look at that sense. What is that sense? If you look really, really closely, the senses that are actually the sensations that are present in the body is what? The breath. When the thought is present, I'm separate, the breath gets shallow, the chest gets closed down a little bit, so there is, I'm separate, oh my God, I'm anxious, what's wrong with me? What if there is no thought? What's wrong with right now if there is no thought? Yes, but That's a thought. Without the thought, okay, natural relaxation. Of course, unless there is any requirement for the body to preserve itself. If there is a bear chasing behind you, there is no natural relaxation. There's no need for natural relaxation. The adrenaline going, fueling hands and legs to run is the most beautiful and appropriate thing. But there is no thought, so there's no problem. Being in danger is no problem because there is no thought. Oh, we have comments here. Tanya noticed today how stories about others appears automatically and spontaneously, and that the stories are not about what they really are. No truth in those stories at all. Yeah, how relieving. You can never ever know whatever you think about others. You can never really know what they are because you cannot ever really know what you are. So your projections of what others are just projections. Thank you, Tanya. Acceptance, says Bradley, is agreeing to cooperate with the inevitable. And not agreeing with it is like, yeah, welcome to hell, because it is gonna go anyway. You want to add to it?
No, just that resistance is useless. I think Arnie said that.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah. Just what can you do? Go, Cliff.
This you're saying about the sense of self, but it's only there when you think about it, really. Like I was just daydreaming a bit while everyone was speaking. I was thinking about, we're talking about going to Bali next year. I'm thinking, if I go to Bali next year, like, I was thinking maybe I should go to Europe, but then if I don't go there, and I was thinking, I'll miss out on that. And then I'm thinking, that's all just constructed about me in the mind in a split second. But it's only there when I'm thinking about it because it's not there otherwise. And I'm just reading this book about quantum physics at the moment and talking about the appearance of an electron. And it's saying we only see an electron as a particle when it's being observed. When it's not observed, it exists in waveform as a potentiality. And maybe all other matter exists as a potentiality until it's observed by consciousness. That's sort of like you only see as appearing real in front of you, but when you think about what's behind you, it's only space, or it's not really there until you turn and have a look. So maybe everything just appears when it's being observed and then just slips back into a dreamlike potentiality when it's not being observed.
Just like in the dream.
Yeah.
And it's just another concept in the dream. But in relation to that, I recall reading about a physics theory that the universe is being created on the spot, just as you say. When you go look for it, it appears.
Yeah, what Cliff was saying just reminded me of this phenomena that happens, phenomenon. So let's say a flat TV screen where you, the colours, shapes, forms are all made up of pixels, same as a pixel in a photograph. Some are smaller, some are larger, some are joined to others, and they form different shades of either different shades of black or white, or they're different colours. And then you start to notice that the photographic effect of being in focus or out of focus makes the forms and shapes that are moving and changing appear as sort of less than solid. They merge and form into fields of colours and shapes. So there's two potentials there: a point instant or a field of varying degrees of nothing.
Degrees of nothing.
And when I open my eyes, the world appears. It's my projection. In all its colour and beauty and all different aspects of it. Close my eyes, it disappears. Oh, it's back again. So it all seems to be a manifestation of conscious potential. All much ado about nothing.
Rita? Lucky?
Probably you mentioned that before. But I got aware of when you shared about the thoughts, and yesterday I was sitting basically the whole day, laying the whole day, and didn't do much, which I think you shared. And yeah, I could see the thoughts and always go one direction, go to that past which wasn't really comfortable, where I was triggered going in there. But in some moments it goes to another part and suddenly it changes. Like it happens within a second, another thought comes up and the whole emotions flake. And I'm like, this is crazy. It's like a push of a button. The only thing what I like to push the button purposely to the positive thoughts. That's a conditional behavior for some reason. I realize it happens. And I don't realize it's happening until I switch the button. The button's been switched. That it's actually the thought pattern. But I was wondering, like with this thought pattern, if it's like that, I was wondering why is the thought pattern going in that spiral? I don't know why.
10,000 things.
Association.
What's that mean?
Means an impulse arises.
Who wants to know?
It means an impulse arises and a thought follows it. And then there's an association with that thought for another thought for another thought. It creates itself almost until you go, hang on, wait a minute. Till the awareness goes, I mean, it happens within awareness. You're aware of it, but it's a process of the mind itself, I think. You know, an impulse arises, association, feeling, color, you know, all that stuff.
Yeah, it's the thought of expectation. That's what it is.
Mm.
Yeah. Having an outcome, not living as it is. I got the answer.
If you just watch the machinery, like you'll notice that there's a tendency for it to repeat. There's a tendency for it to recycle and recirculate, and it's like attention. Attention seems to attend to this item, to this thought, to this idea that appears in nothing, as nothing appearing as this particular thought, and the more attention it seems to sort of energize it to continue to repeat. That's the machinery. Like it's just a description of the machinery. I have no idea how anything really works, but there's an appearance. Like
Yeah, the machinery to fix it.
Fix, alter,
fix-
modify, correct.
Yeah, modify it.
Anita?
I've spent some time watching my thoughts as they come up at any different time, and it's all to do with security, safety, a coupling, it's all to do with that, with protecting the body, protecting the ego. It's all about those stories that come up. So it's to me, it's an inbuilt mechanism within the physicality, which is just taking care of itself.
Yeah, that as well, and I think also I realize it's what I used to do for a living.
Yes, problem solving.
And
problem solving.
And
yes.
there's something more. Let's do this.
Yeah, it's a problem solving.
Yeah.
It's built in,
it's built in.
And I did that with working in the healing arts for 30 odd years. It's always people have got a problem, they come, I can fix it, and that's it. And sometimes that doesn't turn off.
Yeah, it doesn't turn off. Yeah, mechanically it's perfect. Perfect as in terms of physically fixing things, but not with the other thought patterns.
Sorry, I said I think it's just a pattern and nothing to be concerned with.
Yeah,
it's the concern is the
realizing the pattern.
Yes, it's a pattern, and it will always come up because this thing wants to live, wants to survive, whatever this is. It wants to manifest and to create and do all that stuff. You can't say it's you because it was doing that from the time that you were fertilized in the mother's uterus, in the mother's fallopian tube. It happened right from then. It wants to live. I want to live.
That's
it's just the livingness itself. It wants to live in a way. Like the patterns, there are patterns, but nobody who has the patterns in a way. You can't really claim ownership of them and have them all get rid of them. They just are. And attention goes some or not.
And I think that's where the suffering comes, when you think that that's you and that you have to do all that, but it's just happening. And if you can stand back and see that it just happens, whether you've got any involvement or not, and that's where the suffering starts to decrease.
It comes with the realization. Once the flick button comes, like, oh, here we go again. That's what happened. Then I'm off it. It's like a realization, like being aware of it.
Yeah, it's awareness. You bring awareness into that. You see that it's just a functioning of this.
Yeah.
But not the consciousness that sees that. It's just as aware of that. It doesn't stop it, but you just don't identify with it as much. So the suffering decreases. Thinking it's me and I have to do this and I'm going to do that and blah, 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 blah. Yeah.
It's that the thing, leave it as it is.
Leave it as it is, yeah.
And also you might just consider, for the heck of it, instead of asking why this pattern and why this way and why this response, ask how. How is it happening? See that Bob had this beautiful pointer. Watch the mind. See how it functions, how it functions, not why. Because why, it presupposes that there is someone there. If I only understand that, if I only get that, if I only have the answer why, then maybe I will have control over it and maybe I can modify it so it happens differently. There is no one there. It's a machine. So if you see how the machine works, if you discover it from that point of just being open, complete openness, like, the energy of attention goes into that sort of childlike, curious, relaxed state in which there is like, show me. I want to see how it works, like just not why, because why presupposes that there is some conscious activity that could be modified. I need to know that. I need to figure it out. I need to understand. Whilst how is just complete part of the functioning. is also another aspect of it is, if there is no one there really, then the one who wants to know is just another pattern of energy arising. And it doesn't matter if that pattern of energy called I want to know, if it is resolved or it is unresolved, it is fed or it is not fed. That's just another wave arising in consciousness, wanting to figure it out, or wanting, desire for, better job or better partner, or better money or better looks or whatever. It's just monitoring the wave of attraction, the wave of attention moving to another dream. And it's nothing that needs to be resolved. There's nothing that needs to be added. There is no answer to it. No one knows how or why. But how, it is also a mystery. But with the answering how, you can see what Anita was saying, the stimulus response, the triggers, the line, just chain of conditioned behaviors. You can you can see those Pavlov dogs salivating when they hear the bell ringing. Wow, brilliant. Don't understand any of it, why? It doesn't matter. But when you see how that spontaneous functioning unfolds right in front, it doesn't kill the miraculousness of it.
Yeah, the how comes more from the observer, from the observing it, how it's, rather than being in it.
Yes,
yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And observing doesn't need to know why. It just see how. It's such an open question to see the functioning. It's beautiful because you can see the blue sky, and then suddenly clouds started forming, and then you can ask why the clouds forming, and then go into a story of the ocean water maybe evaporating, the pressure going down or up, and the mountains in a way that making that clouds form and lift it up, and you just get gone in the beautiful dream of religion called science that you are dreaming right now, but completely to the exclusion of that miraculous existence of being present with what is happening in the immediacy. While if you see how the clouds are coming, one moving, another one maybe on a higher level, moving faster. You see how they're coming. There is no thought required.
Yeah.
There's no story required. In that silence that you are, in that observing, you see how the responses are coming, how the behaviors are coming, how thoughts, feelings, how everything is arising in that silence, stillness of space that you are. Without understanding any of it, without needing to control any of it, just being that presence. And watching the miracle of this fleeting moment right here, right now, that will never be here again. How it functions. Why? The moment you hear why, beautiful. Another invitation for another story. How about we say 3 or 4 stories instead of 1? Okay, so why thoughts are going this way? Oh, maybe because of childhood trauma. Oh, maybe because of a conditioning. Oh, maybe because of a culture. Oh, maybe because, say few stories, and then the computer get overwhelmed a little bit, overworked, and it just, it will just show you that little, the little timer or slowing circle, calculating, stop. And then okay, pause. Who gives a shit?
That sounds nice. Yeah.
The illusion really is sustained by thoughts of meaning making. Why the point of it all? This is the meaning, searching for meaning, the meaning of life, etc., etc., the meaning of my story, all of that. And you're absolutely right. That is when the attention is given to that, and followed through, it's like a real rabbit hole, isn't it? And there's twists and turns, and end up and all of a sudden you're not in the you're in the now. You can never get out of it, but you're in the daydream.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're in the past, in the imagination, recreating the past or imagining the future, rather than being totally open and aware of what's going on right now. So it is an invitation to dream.
Yeah.
Ignore it.
Or enjoy it, yeah.
It's gonna happen anyway. Just don't take it seriously.
So some would say that whatever sensory perception is there in front of us, there's consciousness of it, but there's usually consciousness of it with some form of greed or desire or some form of repulsion or aversion. And the mind seems to go like that all the time until there's no real interest and the consciousness is balanced. But most of the time there's something pops up, and like a fish going for a hook, you're hooked, you're attached.
It's what it should be.
Yeah, you're hook, line and sinker. And you go for that and then end in some sort of a round discussion, like Bob would say, like a dog chasing its tail, thought after thought. So it goes.
Go on, Dino.
I thought, well, another way of describing that is like it's the absolute, like the great perfection, and it's just and in that great perfection, everything is included. There's nothing that can be excluded. There's nothing outside of it. Everything's within it, and within it is absolute equanimity, without a thought that's going to discriminate and say it's right or it's wrong or it's good or it's bad or it needs to be added or subtracted or changed or modified or corrected. It is as it is if it's left alone. But there's no one to leave it alone, because there's no one actually. There's just this one thing, the one essence, And and that one essence is actually what do you say? Percentages of nothing. Degrees of nothing. That's really good.
Levels of consciousness.
Oh yeah. Even more silly than degrees of nothing. Thank you, Kaiman.
Books written about it.
Absolutely, the books written about all sorts of nonsense.
Dr. Hawking. Yep.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
Dino, go on.
So is everyone is there any objections to any of this talk? Like you've explained pretty much this and described and shown in many different ways that there's actually no one here. There's no one running the show. There's no free will, choice, volition, autonomy, any of this kind of stuff. But are you sitting there or watching, in the chair going, oh, I sort of get that, I sort of get a sense of that, but I still got to, pay the bills and pick up the kids from school and all like this. It's like, are there any objections or questions or arguments or experiential whatever that claims? Because if there is, bring it up. But if there isn't, cool. But even if there is, what is it? It's actually degrees of the emptiness appearing as a thought saying that this isn't the truth. This isn't exactly, and it's endless. It could be endless.
Bob said to someone,
Maybe
I remember a previous session that Bob was saying to someone who was going, but this and but that. He said, do you smoke? And said, oh, well, yeah, unfortunately I do. He said, what do you do with the butts? She said, well, I throw them away. He said, well, do that. Throw the butts away, like, yeah, because it's just the mind jumping in and coming up with another theory, another idea.
I have a couple of comments here. Others?
Just going to say on that objection, if there's no object, there's no objection. And well, mine went to a time as a child, and our parents took us to a guest house in Point Lonsdale, and we met up with a couple of other small children, and we were in this place that was obviously different to home, but there was a sort of harmony between the group of 4 children, and there was not much discussion that I can remember. It was all just being, in a I guess, unity. And there was no objection. It was like we were just one, and that experience was unforgettable. It's lasted a lifetime.
Just one thing, please. I'm just announcing that I'm having respect for everyone who does everything for humanity's well-being. Full stop. Just announcing, or I'm just informing that I have respect for whoever does anything positive in relation to human well-being. Have you heard what I said? You're welcome.
Okay, I have a couple of comments from the online community. And James says, every story is once upon a time. What time is there if you know there is only now? And that's another beautiful pointer of Bob. Thank you, James. Yeah, what's wrong with right now if you don't think about it? What story, what time is there without a thought? And Julia, full unshakable trust in the life energy, absolute. Nothing to control or do. And Heyman, yes, they are people who within the dream, having roles in the dream. There are villains that are doing harm to humanity and the climate, and there are people who are saving the world and humanity and the climate. Every American movie has tons of those villains and heroes, and they absolutely lovely, and they to be fully appreciated. And yes, thank you for your appreciation. Appreciation is always welcome. Yeah, so this realizing that it is a dream doesn't mean that the dream cannot be appreciated, and it should not be appreciated. I know the communities, spiritual communities, who preach that you should hate the dream with all of your heart. You should realize that this dream has nothing in it for you. Well, it's not entirely untrue. There is nothing in it for you because there is no you. But who is there to hate it then? Or to love it, or to appreciate it? And realizing that it is a dream. And natural appreciation comes out of a dream. And yes, there are people who spend lifetimes finding a vaccine that will help the humanity, or sponsoring kitchen for homeless, or describing the levels of pleasure in the system that they call level of consciousness, or degrees of nothing. This is all valid within that story of me, a human person, getting higher degree in nothing, or lower degree, or getting more enlightened or less enlightened. Beautiful, delightful. And as would Bob always say, all of this has a place. All of this is valid. 100%. Special experiences, cosmic unions, Shakti path, all of it is valid, totally valid within the appearance. But to realize that this is just an appearance, and what you are is totally beyond it, prior to degrees and levels and all of it. That's the scope of these meetings. Go on, Joe.
Yeah, it's just what I'm hearing is, I love the dream and I love the movie. I have great movies. They're fantastic. And what I'm hearing, and just what you were saying too, and Anita and everyone, is judgment. So we have a great movie and then we come and judge the movie. But that wasn't good enough. I didn't say the right thing, or the right people weren't there. So where does the judgment come from? I mean, that's the program.
Yes.
There's a program. There's a
Yes.
program of judgment.
Yes.
And is that where the trouble is? Come on.
I don't
Is
know.
that the problem?
Judging happens, doesn't it? But
Judging happens.
it all comes from what we are. Sat Chit Ananda, loving to be is the being. It's got that love and the expression of love in its many forms built into it. Well, not built into it, it is it.
I suppose we need judgment. Judgment maybe is a good thing, because judgment helps you to work out if something does need fixing. If it's reality. Is it real? Yeah, you hold that. You're doing really well.
You can take it.
Anyone else?
Now, within the dream, yes, there's spontaneously arising. Judgments arise, opinions arise, preferences arise. Everything goes on autopilot, and everything has its function. If the cat wouldn't be able to judge between eating orange or eating meat, it probably would starve. So that natural capacity of the body to always evaluate the situation, to take the most optimal action, most optimal available, because sometimes there is no available. All the options are not optimal. That's just part of natural functioning.
Well, there it is. Judging the judgment.
Absolutely.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Extremely.
And nobody does
At
it.
the back of the class.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I failed.
You excelled. Fantastic. There is no you to fail or excel either.
There's discrimination. Discriminate different things, positive, negative. But when you look at that word, it means to take the crime out of it. Discriminate. Yeah.
That's a good
But
point.
you could also say,
Yeah.
like, and Kat often says it, like you're telling some dream that, see the beauty in the dream, whatever it is, realise it is a dream, and it comes from that expression of beingness is creating the dream. And I think it's in. So, if you can enjoy that, you can spread the enjoyment. I think Nisargadatta, and there's a chapter called "Be Happy, Make Happy" or something like that. Like, if the happiness is there, spread the happiness.
The pain. See the dream as a dream and be done with it. Your problem is that you love one part of the dream and not the other.
Yeah, love it all.
Love it all or nothing, and the rest will be done for you.
And nothing's rejected. Nothing's rejected. How can it be? Who's rejecting?
Including rejection.
Exactly.
Yes. Yes.
Including rejection. Because it's this beautiful unfolding dance of life. Oh my. In the present moment, the only place it could be where the vitality and the livingness occurs. Beautiful. Good, bad, they're all kind of situational and, circumstantial, but the actual livingness is this beautiful thing which we all have right in the present moment, right now. And that's what joins all of us. We're not separate to that. Nobody's separate to that. Isn't that a joy? Regardless of what it looks like while it's unfolding. It's a joy. It's not wrong. It's not wrong. And not rejected. It's just a beautiful unfolding. And, now that I get older too, going through, the experiencing of having been a child and a teenager and then a young adult and a family person and blah, 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 all of that is experiences. which, you know, in the human brain, we have these kind of memory banks which can call on that, or we've had direct experience of that. It's ever changing, ever changing, ever changing. Isn't that exciting? That's just so beautiful. And there's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong, nothing to be rejected. It all works out. One way or another.
Hello.
Hello, Jamie. Go on, you make a comment.
Hi, is it my turn?
Yes.
Okay. Oh, no. I think someone was saying before about just sitting there and doing nothing. I'm just going to sit here and not do anything. But even while we're all sitting here now, as our hearts are beating, our blood is coursing through the vessels, our pancreas is producing insulin. Does anyone know how to work their thyroid? You know, there's a billion different chemical reactions going on in the body. So this eye thinks it can sit there and do nothing. You know, if the heart stops beating for more than a minute, you're dead. And the mind is just another process that's producing content, whatever, scanning the environment, free associating. Yet this one process of the mind is identified as this me, but you don't identify with reflux, do you? You know.
You do when you have it.
Well, you go. Well, you don't. You go, I've got reflux.
Yeah, right.
You don't say, I
it.
am reflux.
That's right.
You know, it's something that's happening to you. Yet this mind, I'm thinking about this, I'm worried about that, not worrying it happening or thinking it happening. We identify with this one process, and that's the, you know, and but all those processes are going on. Even the physical doing. Does anyone know how they open and close their hand, or stand up, and just the process of walking and physical doing? How does this machinery operate? It's just all happening, and it's a wonder if you sort of contemplate the happenings, and just it's a kind of I don't know. It's kind of silly to think that we do anything anyway. At what point do we take over the beating of the heart and into the physical doing? Where does that actually happening? You realise that anything that needs to be done is just done. But I don't know. That's the only comment I wanted to sort of add, is just that, you know, that even sitting there and thinking I'm just going to do nothing is still a feeling of doership. There's somebody sitting there doing nothing. There's so much happening.
I'm doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. I like that highlight, because I know I get very confused, because in society, anything we watch or do, people say, you know, oh, I had a heart attack, and if it was lucky that I went to the kitchen and got an aspirin. So they did it. The I went, they saved themselves. But there was no one doing it.
No.
Yeah.
There was no one
Or
doing it. The
even
thought
I
came,
thought
it
this
happened.
and I thought
Yeah, but you, in society, in everything, it's always, oh, look at how so-and-so did this and he saved himself. He was jogging and a bear was coming at him and he ran up a tree. I ran up a tree. I decided to run up.
Aren't I smart?
Aren't I smart? So I'm not as smart as him because I don't run up a tree. You know, I go and pat the bear. I'm an idiot. I love bears. And I get bitten. It takes, amen. Hallelujah.
It's the condition of our language as well.
That's well put.
We add the subject.
Correct.
It's like we say, it's raining. it's raining. What is raining? There's rain. Rain is happening. I'm going to do this. We get caught in the language.
It's the language.
We create a subject.
Yeah.
And the subject implies the object.
I am rain.
Yeah. Right.
It's language.
It's language. Yeah. And that's the core message is that we get caught in the belief in these concepts, and the concepts create the feeling of the subject. The subject implies the object, and hence, that's why the mind is dualistic in that operation.
Just on beliefs and stuff. I watched a movie yesterday, and it was actually, it's a true story. And they were in submarines down below, and a guy died, and all his oxygen turned off. But they saved him just to save the body, so they could give it back to the family. When they saved him, he'd actually been down there for 30 minutes, and he came back. There's the belief system. We have a belief system. We have a timeline of what things happen and so forth. And he laid there, and he suddenly started speaking. 30 minutes without oxygen, But he must be dead, Interesting. It's thought-provoking. Do we die? Who dies? Sorry. I'm excited. Who's excited?
You, darling, you.
That's it. Thank you, Anita. Me, the little me.
Oh, bloody hell, it's just gone. Sorry.
Just died.
I'll just add this. Remember that Siri just add eggs to your list, to your shopping list, and she said, "I did it."
Yeah.
The same thing, the same mechanism. The action happens, and the narrative says, "I did it. I climbed the tree. I add the eggs to the shopping list. I ran out."
Yeah.
It's just a piece of narrating software that happens post factum, after the action. And again, instead of why, how does it happen? How quickly that interpreting faculty comes online and provides the meaning to what just happened. Oh, I did it. I saved myself. I'm smart. Amazing.
Oh, as an academic, this is just a parallel way of saying exactly what you've just said. You have to apply for grants. And one of the key components of that is you have to write about your track record, what you've done, how brilliant you are, right? And it's all, I did this and I did that, and it's full of all of this stuff. The truth of it is, you never did that. In the dream, all of that, everything that was done was actually, team. It always took more than one person, but it's written as if I'm responsible for it and I did it. The smart academics will write that rubbish and not believe it. The other ones will write it and start to believe their own story. And that, and then that's a suffering, because when they don't get the grant, woe is me, it's rejection and suffering and everything else, because, 9 out of 10 are rejected. Right? But the ones who write it know it's a story, put it away, wait for the next opportunity. Happy with failure.
You see it all the time. People believe their own bullshit, then get sucked into all this ego problems. It's rife in 2 industries I've been in filmmaking and entertainment and politics. People believe that they really did create this thing.
I did all this. Therefore I'm special, etc., etc.
There was a guru who was asked to tell his story, and he said, "If I tell you my story, I may believe that it actually happened."
But again, nothing wrong in appreciating every story. It's the energy of belief that constitutes the moment I say this is my story, and that I is believed into existence, and the credit is taken, and it is experienced as something personal, and it is forgotten that even the experience of things being personal is just a passing vibration, it's just a phenomena.
Actually,
And it's
that's it. Session closed.
And then as we were talking about appreciation, I will also express the appreciation for all the heroes who better the humanity, and all the villains who actually make it possible for them to better it, and for everyone who is enjoying with us exploring the non-duality today. And we're gonna have a cake for Ross and I.
yeah.